It's that time again. What's up, everybody? This is Dads Lads Kebabs. Hope you enjoy the show. Deuces.
Boom, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, boys and girls. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Dads, Lads and Kebabs. We've got an exciting episode for you today. But first of all, Mickey, how are you doing, sir?
I am okay. Since the last time we filmed, the next morning, I woke up with a sore throat, which led to an awful sore throat, which led to bunged up coughing. So, yeah, I've been on Lemsip 4 times a day, ibuprofen all day long for the last week. And I am just about coming to the end of it. It's not been nice. And, yeah, tying with the worst and most busiest week of work that I've had. It's just been a lovely week.
You're still here. You're still here.
I'm still here. I got through it. I didn't die, and no animals were harmed in the making of this week. So,
Oh, that's good to know.
it's all good,
Now,
isn't it? It's all good, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a very exciting guest for us today, who Mickey's just kicked out and put him in the green room before we.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
So he's waiting back there. He might have left by now, but ladies and
He's gone
gentlemen,
home.
without further ado, our good friend Alistair.
Whoop, whoop.
I was waiting in the green room. I wasn't going to go anywhere.
He cut you off mid-conversation. Turns
I did.
out, Alistair, you can be as controversial as you want, was your question. You can be as controversial as you want on our podcast. At the end of the day, this is a safe space, and these are only opinions. These are not political statements.
No.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Excellent. No,
Alistair.
thank you for having me back, guys.
You're welcome. How are you
Third
doing?
time.
I know. Third time lucky. Go viral with some of the crap I'm going to come out with maybe this time.
Oh, I like that. TikTok will be rubbing their hands together.
It has been a few years since the last time I was in it, and there is. I mean, to be fair, I've done there's lots of other stuff. To be fair, the last 3 months, I'm going to get to the point. It's been about me and my life, and not kind of. We haven't done our podcast. Certain things have been put on the back boiler. I wanted to spend some real kind of time on me, so I've done certain things, like I've detoxed off all my antidepressants, so I am
Ooh.
NHS like antidepressant drug free. I've quit smoking, so I did call you, Niall, about the quitting smoking, and you never came back to me, so I went
Oh shit!
throw that out there.
Listen. Do you know what?
Shame.
Wait, how did you do it?
Through the NHS, quit smoking.
Yeah, but did you use anything to help, or?
The vape. I used vape and patches at first, but the patches were making my skin itch. And giving me like a dry patch. Wherever I put the patch, it was dry and it was just irritating me. So in the end, I just went to vape, and now I've changed the vape, and I'm down to, I think, about 0.5% nicotine now in my vape.
Yeah, good.
So it's just about getting rid of the habit now, more than anything else.
How did you feel from that initial transition from smoking to just get? Where was your mindset at before you quit?
I needed to do it.
Yeah.
The next weekend I'm 47, so I'm approaching 50 now, and it just kind of, I'm old school. I've been smoking since I was 16, and the only time I gave up for about 3 years ago. So pretty much half of my life I've been smoking, and I just thought, no, it's just got to stop. Plus, I was doing this journey of myself.
Yeah.
I wanted to know, because I have my addictive personality, and I get really kind of obsessed with certain things, and I throw myself at them, and then I change hobbies. I mean, down here, I've got carving stuff, I've got metal detectors, I've got a magnet for anything you can think of. I think, oh, I'll do that.
That's it. That is me.
Yeah, so I just wanted to do you know what? I need to stop. I need to quit.
Did you do the smoking at the same time as the medication?
No.
No.
I've still got a rollie in my cup.
Good for you. Yeah,
One little rollie that's, if I want to smoke it, I can smoke it. But if I smoke it, I'm back smoking again. So I have to be in control of what's going on. I'm that person that if you tell me don't hit that red button, I've pressed it before you've finished the sentence. Yeah. So to be told you can't smoke, I just want to smoke. So it's a case, well, if you want to smoke, smoke. You're a big boy. You can make your own decisions. And I've made the decision that for the time being, I don't want to smoke. I've had a few cigars, like over New Year, I've had some cigars with a little shot of whiskey and bits. But I'm not a big drinker now at all. Not that I was ever before, but...
Well, welcome to the Teetotal Podcast. We don't drink.
Oh, no, don't get me wrong, I like a drink, but for me, it's a circumstance thing. So if I'm doing a barbecue, I like a bottle of beer with a barbecue. If I'm celebrating New Year or Christmas, I like my little shot of whiskey. Because I grew up in Scotland. So I went primary school where they make Glenfiddich and Balvenie, and then graduated grammar school at Chivas Regal. So I know my single malts. So I like a nice single malt as a celebratory drink. But I don't like, not since I was in my mid-20s. I can't be bothered with a hangover anymore. I haven't got the patience for it at all.
I don't remember my last hangover.
No, genuinely, I don't. The last time I had a few beers, I got heartburn and thought, now I am.
We said about this the other week. Like, we both like now and again. I would love the occasional cider. Problem is, as soon as I touch cider, I get major headaches and heartburn, and that's me done. So I call it the cigarette in your car. I've got 3 in a packet in a toolbox that have been there now for 6 years, and I call them my Judgment Day cigarettes because when that asteroid hits, I'll nip out to the toolbox and grab those 3 mouldy cigarettes and smoke them. It's a mental block. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
That's good.
Medication wise, though, so antidepressants, obviously, were you on them long term?
Sertraline, I've been on for about 5 or 6 years of that one. Before that, I was on fluoxetine, and then they moved me on to sertraline, and they upped the dose, and I complained because it just completely blocked me out. Somebody could have walked up and gone, "Oh, I need your left leg," lobbed it off, and I'd have been, "All right, no worries, I'll just hop from now on." There was just too much of a detachment from my own brain.
Can I ask what dosage you were on, if you don't mind?
I genuinely can't remember.
Okay,
it's been a while. I mean, that's been how long has it been now? That's 7 months, 8 months. I can't remember what the dosage was because it had gone up and then it had gone down. And to be honest, I'd dropped it down from what even the doctors had told me to do. So I wanted to come off of it. This was more than 2 years ago, actually. This is before I moved from Isham to here, to now back in Wellingborough. So, yeah, it's been a couple of years off of the sertraline now. But I did just go cold turkey. I was like, do you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. And just
How was that?
It was hard. And it was mainly hard, I would say, on Penny, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because there was a good month of just shit falling out of my head.
Yeah.
I went through everything. As you guys know, I've been through 2 crappy divorces. I was kept away from my kids for 5 years. So there was all of this stuff, historical stuff to do with my DNA parent and what she'd lied about, and then rebuilding a relationship with my dad and my stepmom, and just everything went like that, and just fell out of my brain. And luckily, Penny, bless her, is just fucking awesome, and she helped me go through. There was no kind of, this is the answer. I didn't need things fixing. I just needed to get them out into the ether, out of my brain, and a case of anything I have control of, then fine. Keep that in your mind and think about it. But so much of my crap that I've dealt with is in the past, and it's that old kind of saying of you can't move forward if you're constantly looking backwards. No. So I had to let certain things go, and I've now got a relationship with my daughters, both of them, which is great, absolutely freaking awesome. But I'll never get that space of time back. So I missed certain points. So it's, and a lot of my depression was to do with self-worth. Mm-hmm. And when you've had 2 ex-wives that literally just tear you to bits, and it's full of character assassination, it can be hard at times to move past their opinion of you. So my own opinion of me now is very different. So I'm a bit more confident without the arrogance. I'd love to get the arrogance back that I had when I was in my 20s.
The snap, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of arrogance, that won't come back now until I'm mid-60s and I can go full grumpy old bastard.
I was going to say, then you're just an old cunt.
Yeah, at this moment in time, I've got to be diplomatic, and the world's different.
Yeah.
For about the last, other than my own sort of company I've set up, Lodestar Wolf, nice little plug there. Thanks, guys. I've been working fundraising for the oldest British conservation charity. Am I allowed? Can I say? Can I name them?
Yeah.
Wildlife Trust.
Do what you want.
So Wildlife Trust, and doing that has put me back out into the public. And part of me doing it was to overcome some of this anxiety and getting out there, because COVID changed things as well.
Yeah.
That need for interacting with people, I'd kind of got used to not seeing anybody and not interacting with people. So, but being back out in the public and sitting in, like this weekend, I've been sat in a Sainsbury's all weekend, trying to ask people if they like nature and wildlife and become a member of it and join and, you know, donate. And the world's a very strange place. My conclusion this weekend, when I was, I'm going to sound like an old man now, but balls to it. When I was young,
during the war,
so much individuality. We had loads of individuals when I was a teenager. We had our goths and our emos and our skater boys and our metalheads and our punks and our people with tattoos. There was loads of individuality and style that was really random, like your Boy George style or your Prince style or Adam Ant style. Now everything's fucking grey. The leggings are grey, the trousers are blue, the jeans. I counted 10 pairs of black and white Nike skater style trainers with people wearing Nike's white socks over black leggings. 10 different people in one day. That was just today. You own a pair of these Nikes, don't you? Black and white Nikes.
No, I don't.
No. You're pulling that face because you've got a pair.
No. I just know the image. As soon as you said it, I seen the image in my head, and I was like, "Yeah."
I don't know what's happened to the world, but
Panda dunks.
Now, there's no individuality at all. Everybody's just a carbon copy of the next person, and I find it really bland. People are. I don't know. I spoke to only one person over the weekend that was like a true individual. They had their own style, their own look that they owned, and it was slightly emo, slightly, what's them Japanese cartoony things?
Anime.
Yeah, a bit emo, a bit anime of a look. But yeah, everybody else, all the women look the same, all the men look the same. It's just bland and grey. And when I was a kid, we had such a variety of people. You could walk down the street and you'd have the punks having a go at the goths, who'd be having a go at the nerds. And now everybody just looks the same. And I find it quite bizarre. And it's frightening, the amount of people that don't give a crap about our beautiful country and our landscape and our animals and wildlife. And I find that quite bizarre, because I grew up on a farming estate in Scotland, on a gaming estate. So nature and wildlife and stuff has always fascinated me. I love animal facts and British wildlife. We've got such a beautiful country, and people just don't give a monkeys anymore.
People don't see it though.
No, not at all.
I think one of the things that you just said about people looking the same as everybody else, people also do the same as everybody else. They don't go to play. No one goes off the beaten track anymore, do they? No one ventures further than where they're told to go. Like now, if you said what's the top holiday destination for UK tourists, it would be Dubai, because everything in social media tells you Dubai is the best place to go. So you just go there.
when I got my first house, I loved nothing more than at the weekend mowing the lawns, trimming the hedge, tidying the driveway up, maintaining my little home, my
Yeah.
bubble.
Love it.
Now
Honestly.
people have got block paved driveways. They don't want gardening. They don't want to cut a hedge. Their gardens are full of astroturf and sheds, so they can do podcasts or sewing or something on Instagram and Facebook. There's no.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Alistair.
Do you know what I
Listen.
mean? It's generational differences. It's not bad. It's just a difference. My generation thought you'd made it. If you were mowing the lawn and cleaning your car on a Sunday, you've made it.
Listen,
No, what you got in your driveway? Okay.
No, so I have got AstroTurf, but it was here when I moved in, and since I've moved in, I've added a flower bed. I've got a pond now, so I've got fish that I've got to clean and look after.
That's his ice bath.
No, it's not. My ice bath's still in the box at the back door, waiting
Pussy
for
hole.
outside. But the AstroTurf, I am gonna defend. I was mowing grass for years. Now, since I've stopped mowing grass, I'm now hoovering grass.
I was going to say you have to hoover it now.
But I haven't done it this year. But my fish, I've got fish now. I've got a pond for my daughter, and we've got fish, and she loves all that. So I'm still getting out stuff.
I've had AstroTurf on the back garden in the past. When I had loads of dogs, it makes perfect sense. In some situations, it does make sense. But it's not just the people that have changed. People have changed because the environment has changed.
Mm-hmm.
The houses years ago were built with front and rear gardens, a hedge down one side, and there was that connection. Now they're 3 stories, like my house here. It's 3 stories, a tiny little postage stamp garden, and you don't have the same territorial bubble to maintain anymore when you buy a property. Because if you've got a property with a front and rear garden that needs maintaining, you're probably doing pretty well nowadays. Most houses don't have that. They're copy and paste houses, and they try and cram as many as they can. You must have seen the pictures online of when you look at somebody's backyard and all the fences are just that's mad. So that's getting back out into the public and just trying not to lose my shit with the ignorance that we are an animal on this planet.
Do you think when you stopped the searching, do you think that changed your outlook on the world? Just because of you were on it for so long, do you think your perspective of what the actual public is for you, do you think it changed at all? Which do you think it just got harder to deal with, or
no? It just once I come off the searching, I learned I needed to vocalize things, so I have to defrag my brain at different times, and a lot of the times it's with Penny, or another times it's with a mate of mine. We'll meet up on a Thursday and we go and do walks and talks, and we'll go around Delapre Abbey or something, and we'll have a proper vent about shit and just get out and moan about stuff.
We do that on Thursdays as well.
So it's getting out of my head, not letting it fester and rent space inside my brain is the trick to it. And a lot of the time, there was a strange TikTok a while ago with a guy who was about to start an interview with somebody, and somebody walked in front of him, and this, I'm assuming by his mannerisms, he was autistic. He said something along the lines of, never confuse somebody's busyness for ignorance or arrogance or being mean for any particular reason. And that's most of what I see when I'm doing the fundraising. People are stressed out, they're overworked, they're under relaxed, they've got their own issues. We're constantly being told we're in a cost of living crisis. We're not. We're in a greedy supermarket crisis is what we're fucking in. Because the directors of Tesco's and all the supermarkets, they're not poor at all. They're still making billions. So we're not in a cost of living crisis. We're just in a cost of stuff. People are charging more for stuff, and people are not necessarily prioritizing what they need and want. So people are stressed out. So they don't mean to be mean to me or blunt or ignorant or ignore me. They're just so focused on what they need to get done that it had nothing to do with me. And that was part of the coming off the searching, was realizing that I'm not a character in their story. They may be the main character in their story, but I'm not actually in their story. So
No.
to be offended by somebody who just goes, no, mate, I haven't got time, I'm off. That's nothing. I'm just an extra in their story. I'm not cast at all. So it's letting that sort of shit go, which is quite tricky and tough at times, because people
It's nice when you do it though.
People are rude. People are often rude, but
it's not your problem though.
No,
you know?
karma will deal with them.
and like, I think that's one of the outlooks that I've had, is that the moment you realise that nothing outside of your little circle, nothing else matters, and you realise that you will have a very, very few people in your circle that you really do give a shit about. The rest of them they will fall at the wayside because they have to, because they're not in the circle that you understand. But the moment that you realise that you don't have to impress anybody, okay, you don't owe anybody anything, right, and your time is as precious as you make it. And the moment you realise that time that you have, those 24 hours that you have, and who you choose to spend it with, and who you choose to communicate with or go out with, like, that is precious. So wasting it on people that have no impact in your life makes no sense at all.
No, you're absolutely right. It can be tricky, but I mean, on a more positive, me and Penny are now engaged. Looking for a debut. So if you know of anybody, or anybody's watching this, and you can let me use, I just need a field with ideally a toilet nearby. Our plan is to have a picnic. So everybody wants to come. It's not a sort of everybody getting a little gold lace or whatever sort of invitation. It's if you know us and you want to come and share in our awesome day, we'll do a hand fasting, if you know what that is, like pagan hand fasting. So there'll be a celebrant to do that. If you want to come and join us on that, bring yourself a picnic, bring yourself a blanket, come along, crack on. Let's just have a gathering of just love and appreciation and people just getting together. It's not necessarily about who's on whose side, who's on the groom's side. That traditional kind of Christian wedding. There'll be a legal bit, then there'll be the hand fasting bit. Just bring yourself a picnic, bring yourself a basket, a blanket. Ideally, I'll have a barbecue bit set up so you can just barbecue whatever you want on the side of it as well. And just, come and spend an afternoon with us and have fun. But I need a field for this
space.
Because the second you say wedding to any, I used to rent fields on a daily basis for like days for my dog training. It'd be a couple of £100 tops, absolutely tops, and that's if there was toilets and a hall and inside stuff as well. You mentioned the word wedding, £2,500.
Yeah,
it's just like, I just want a field. I've almost got to the point where some of my friends have said about, just tell everybody where it's going to be and just rock up. So just pick anywhere. Be like Delapre Abbey. We'll all just turn up there, or that field opposite Boughton Church. That's where I'd quite like to do. There's a field there.
What, in the middle?
Yeah, on that bit where they used to hang people.
The middle green, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll all just
cars go around you.
Yeah, and we'll all just rock up, and it's not a paid event. It's not.
Why not?
Do you know what I mean?
You're not selling anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it. Is literally just find somewhere that you like and go, listen, we're just going to turn up here, and that is it.
Yeah.
Because if anything, and then people say, "What are you doing?" We say, "Well, we're having a big picnic." Oh, okay.
That's literally what it will look like. It'll just look like a big picnic.
You can do that anywhere.
The other thing, with my mental health, I self-referred to a place in Malton. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. A place called Soul Haven.
I know Malton, but I've never heard of it.
No.
Right. Soul Haven. They do. They did a 12-week course called Ploughing the Mind. So it's very nature-based. It's very holistic-based. You'll meet up in a yurt, a 12-week course, and it goes through a number of different things to do with your life, the past, the present, how you deal with mental health, getting stuff out, being in that safe space with other people who have sort of gone through the same thing. and that was really good. That was 12 weeks that tagged on to coming off. I'd been off the sertraline about 18 months at that point, and then quit smoking, and then joined that to really kind of level things out, and that was really good. So if anybody watching this and they want, and that was free. I didn't have to pay for that at all. That was lottery funded through this place called Soul Haven. Honestly, really good. People should Google it, have a look.
Wow.
They do. I mean, they do other courses. They do like drumming meditation. They have vegan meals up there. They do sound bathing. But ours was, we sort of did some planting. We planted some plants or some like runner beans and things. And it's just that process of, for that seed, it starts off in the dark, and it's got to grow, and it's what strengths and what roots are. So it's quite abstract in its methodology. It's really good, really holistic, and absolutely, did me the world of good. So coming out of the back of that prompted the engagement with Penny to take that step forward. I got some of my debts from sort of COVID. I actually made contact with some of them and started sorting them out. And yeah, so it was really good. And that was a free course that I self-referred on. So yeah, that was cool.
It's funny that you were saying COVID, obviously, they say 24, 25. This is the year where COVID will catch up with people in terms of, one, what it actually did for them, like how it made them feel. Because the amount of people that didn't realise that COVID affected them in a way that they didn't even understand. It affected so many people, and it's coming out. I keep hearing it. People talk about COVID all the time at the moment. Yeah. And I think it's because of that 5-year gap that people realise, did we really live through that? Did we did we sit out? Did we clap for carers? Were we banging pans at our front door at one point? You know, was pasta really sold out in supermarkets?
Yeah.
And it's like, it's catching up with people because people didn't realise, and like you said, the mental health crisis that caused people years down the line, especially the younger generation, in terms of education and things like that, and now it's caused them to be behind. It's like we really did live for a shit time for one, you know, once upon a time, and it's catching up with us.
It changed a lot for us. We ended up moving, losing a house, so yeah, there was a lot of upheaval, a lot of changing because we moved into a smaller house. There was a lot of stuff I had to let go of. So yeah, I know it's just stuff, and I've generally in my life lived very much a case of, if I can't put it in a backpack and walk off with it, I probably don't need it. You know, coming down from Scotland, I came down from Scotland with a backpack. I had to sell some video cassettes to buy a bus fare just to make this 520 odd mile journey. So it was, do you know what I mean? Whatever, if you don't need it, it's a want.
Yep. I'm only just figuring that out now. Well, past couple of years, I'm figuring that there's nothing I care about, nothing material that I really. There's nothing I give a shit about. There's nothing.
It is. I mean, the last few years, there's been a real thing about stuff on June, TikTok, Temu, Wish, and it's people make money out of YouTube channels reviewing shit. We know it's they know it's shit when they order it, and then they do a review to prove that it's shit, and we sit and watch it. It's like, I don't get what's going on here.
And then it's like I'm going through this phase at the moment where I'm watching. Do you know the new medication, the diabetes medication that people are using for weight loss, either Ozempic or Mounjaro?
Yeah. I
am watching that craze unfold, and now I'm watching it. I'm watching the hype when it got really popular. Now I'm watching the downfall of people dying, people having kidney issues, people having really bad side effects.
Osteoporosis.
Yeah, and I'm watching the fact that people will grab if somebody tells you this tablet will make you a millionaire in 6 months, we'd all take it.
Yeah.
But you don't realise is the fact that people said people are far too lazy now. People want an excuse for anything. So here's a medication that you have to self-inject that's going to make you stop eating, and that is, that's basically going to give you a lifeline of self-control that you can't give yourself.
That was the downside of quitting smoking. In
Yeah.
the time I quit smoking, I've put on 2 stone of weight doing it. So I've had to.
That's because you're not answering the correct craving.
Oh yeah, the craving is to go to the gym and go out for a walk. Why have gyms become so expensive? I mean, don't get me wrong, they were never cheap, but I don't know whether I've just got tight again in my old age. It's like 60 quid for a month to go to the gym. What's happened?
Fucking hell, where are you going?
Well, that's the ones near me. Like, well, I won't say the names, but there's a couple near me around Wellingborough that are literally 50, 60 quid for a membership.
I was at Wendell Gym, yeah. I gave up. Don't judge. I've been through Virgin, I've been through Pure Gym, I left both of them, and Fitness for Less at Soul Central. I went on to Wendell, and because I fucked my arm at work, I decided to give up after my year contract in August. I think I was paying £27 then. Well, I'm looking to go back there again now, and it's gone up to like 34 minimum. It's like, fuck you. It's a council gym.
It's 25. Waitrose at Rushton Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The is it
Pure Gym?
The Pure Gym.
Gym,
yeah. That's. I think that's got a £25.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. My son's at Pure Gym at Western Fable. Yeah.
So that's just
like peak, off peak. Do you want swim? Do you not want swim? Do you want the classes? It's like, I just want to do some. I just want to go on a treadmill and a rower and lift some weights, build up a bit of a sweat, go for a swim, go home. Feel like I've accomplished something like the old days. But I just can't get my head around it all. Plus, the people, as I'm now older, the people in the gym are all wearing black leggings, white Nike trainers, or white Nike socks, and the little Nike running trainers. It's just like, I don't know if I can do this without going. But where have all these people come from all of a sudden?
It's like the Michael Jackson shoulder pads again, isn't it? The jackets.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I miss the goths and the emos and the metal punks and the bikers and just all the people that looked different. Just the world.
That was your era, though. That was what you.
Well, yeah, true.
You're in the wrong country for that, I think.
But then, what new music has come out?
Yeah, Wales. Go to Wales.
My generation, they invented all of this different genres of music. I don't think there's much been invented since about 1999 as far as new styles of music.
No,
I keep hearing samples of all the stuff I used to listen to, and I'm like, that's just a version of most of Dua Lipa's music.
It's everyone else.
All the music that I used to listen to as a teenager.
You've been watching that TikTok account where he goes through and he does the old one and the new one. I've seen loads of them. That little bloke.
Have we just ran out of music? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No one's writing any good stuff anymore.
They're putting a beat on it, using old samples, and there you go.
I must be getting old because yesterday or this morning, I think I caught a glimpse of the BAFTA awards, and both me and Penny went, "I've never heard of them." It's like, well, we're obviously old then, aren't we? I'd never heard of the people that had won these BAFTA awards. I was like, yep.
It's all right though, because Danny Dyer called Keir Starmer Wanker of the Year, didn't he? on live telly.
I'm trying to avoid politics.
Yeah, I agree.
I never voted for that twat, and he did exactly what I thought he would do. He fucking bullshit his way in, lied, and changed all the stuff he said he wouldn't change.
Yeah, and now we're dying.
To be fair, that's politics in a nutshell.
Well, yeah. So, and you've got so many little companies now that are struggling because of that NHS, national insurance change. That's a massive thing to small companies that perhaps only employ 3 or 4 people. They've now got to find that money. It's affecting people who want to take on apprentices. So if they've got all
they can't.
Now,
they can't. Yeah, they just can't. I've seen. I think it was small coffee chain, and I think it was basically like this family-run business had 3 coffee shops. I think it was Oxford way, and they basically said like, we've had this company, we've been growing in success, but a very small success, and that's it. We are literally just going to have to shut up shop. We can't afford it. It's just nil impossible. We're going to have to get rid of 12 members of staff because we cannot afford it.
No, I mean business rates. You can unless you're a barber. I nearly said what kind of barber. Unless you're a barber or you're a chain of sweet shops on the high street, you can't do it. So unless you are genuinely laundering money through a
Barber.
Oh, Wellingborough is absolutely heaving with barbers,
No comment.
and not one of them's got anybody in them, and they're all cash.
Yeah.
Do you know, that annoys me? That annoys me.
American sweet shops that are popping up all over the country. We don't buy enough. How does Woolworths close, but all of these shops are coming back? Who's buying all these sweets? And the councils know. They all know. The authorities all know what they're renting, because they're the only ones that are paying the business rates. People who want to open up a shop, whether it's a vintage shop or a spiritualist shop or whatever it is you want to sell, an antique bookshop, you just can't afford to pay the rates to do it. So it's just so much.
It's too much. I know.
Weirdness in the world. And you just kind of go, I can't be the only one that sees this. This doesn't make. I don't get it.
No, I think everybody sees it, and I think everybody has the same kind of opinion, because you just can't. There's no way of bettering yourself, especially like whether you're a business owner or not. Nobody ever gets further than they're supposed to get.
No.
Unless. So recently, I have fell down a complete rabbit hole of basically people doing 2 things: either moving into a van, or people that build cabins like basically in the wild. All right. Yeah. And that for me at the moment, I'm like, I would do anything just to build a cabin and just live there.
The bit I find confusing, though,
Bye, wife.
How do they do this? Or we're living off grid. It's like, but I'm watching you on TikTok. You're clearly not off the grid. If you're making money off your 1.2 million views on your TikTok, you're not living off grid, are you? If I know you exist, you're not off grid.
They've all got Starlink. That's what it is. They've all got Starlink. Because I keep seeing them. Right? So I was watching this guy the other night. I fell down a complete 3-hour rabbit hole of this guy living in the middle of the basically Canadian wilderness. He bought 40,000 acres of land, of wilderness. He built a small freehold cabin thing. And then I kept seeing the views he's getting. And I'm like, oh, this guy's on like nearly 2 million views. No wonder he's getting all this free timber, all this free equipment, free quad bike, free stuff. And I was like, and he's going, I'm surviving out here. I'm like, yeah, you're surviving pretty well.
Yeah, of course he is. Yeah, he's living off royalties. All these, it's just such a contradiction. And every third swipe on a TikTok is some Bluetooth thing to plug in for your car AirPlay, or a shaver that won't nick your balls as you're shaving. It's like, where? And if you look at the products and then go on to Temu, because I ended up in this rabbit hole, you can get the products off Temu for a little bit cheaper than paying them their royalties for their TikTok page.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find the contradictions in the reality of social media, but we're old enough. I believe we're old enough to see through it. But the younger generation see that's the reality to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just find that quite scary that that's where we're heading. That we know the stuff we're buying is shit, and all this money is going abroad to pay for it all.
I think one of the worst things for young people at the moment are the 2, the ClearPay and Klarna. Have you heard of Klarna and ClearPay, where you basically say if you want a pair of trainers that cost £200, you can split the payment in 3 by just paying 70 quid, for example. And it's basically, it's an app, Everywhere does it. You know, supermarkets do Klarna. Every clothing shop does Klarna. You can buy holidays. You can buy holidays on it. It's just an app basically where you go onto this app. You basically go to buy what you want, and you click pay with Klarna. Now, what Klarna does is it breaks the payment down into over 3 months. So you're automatically getting into 3 months worth of debt over something you can't initially afford. But because you can
white pair of Nike trainers.
Yeah. And the leggings and the socks.
Yeah.
But these two apps, ClearPay and Klarna, you can basically pay over a long period of time and get yourself into debt. Now, Klarna lets anybody borrow up to £1,000. Nobody, there's no credit check, nothing. You can order a takeaway on Klarna. You can get a takeaway right now on Deliveroo on Klarna.
Jeez.
And basically, you don't have to pay nothing today. All right, so you can click pay in 30 days. You pay £0 today, and you'll just pay that bill in 30 days. So even if you can't afford it, so say for example that student lifestyle where they run out of money and they'll go, well, I want to get some beers in, so I'll go into Deliveroo, I'll click on Tesco's and I'll order beers, cigarettes, and this, and it's going to cost me 50 quid. You can click a button that just says pay in 30 days, and that's it. It doesn't cost you a penny. It just gets delivered, and you've just got to pay it in 30 days. And if you can't pay it, doesn't matter. They'll just knock it over to the next month. There's no repercussion to it. So people are getting into basically a mass amount of debt over some stuff they can't afford.
Bloody hell.
It's winding me up at the moment. It's really winding me up.
I'm very surprised if Klarna would let me have an account.
There's nothing. There's no
credit check at all. Because
nothing.
Might add them to my £9,000 that I've already got.
Oh yeah, shit, I shouldn't have told you this. Thanks,
the successful man's the man that dies with £1 million of debt. Going, fuck you ain't getting that back.
Yeah.
I agree. When I kick the bucket, I want to make sure that I am in every single piece of debt going. I want to owe the window cleaner when I die. You know what I mean? I don't want nothing. I want it all gone.
Yeah. But that's what I've been telling my mum and dad. So stop saving it. I don't need it.
Spend it.
My dad, I said this a while ago. Now he's bought some alloy wheels for his car. My dad's in his 80s. And he's showing me a pair of black alloys he's bought for his Hyundai. It's one of them little Hyundais, like an old OAP man car.
i10.
But now it's got a German alloy wheels on it, bloody thing. It looks good.
Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. My dad loves it. He thinks they're amazing. It's made it a little bit wider. Oh, brilliant. Dad, I love it. It's lush.
Boy racer.
So yeah, the world's got weird. Coming back to my other passion, me and Penny have been to a few psychic nights. So we went to, I think it was a guy called Tony Stockwell, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Street psychic. We went to see him at the Wellingborough Castle Theatre. So that was.
Did he blow your mind?
No, barely blew me hat off. I don't understand it in that sort of logic. There's so many people there, and within the space of time you're there, he's only going to get to talk to a couple of people with the bits of information he's getting from somewhere. And then we went to a more local one over in Northampton. I won't name them because that'd just be bitchy, but it was not great. So there's only so many random names that you can throw out for people to respond to. John, Janet, Jason, Jeremy.
I was going to say John.
Yeah, well, obviously there's a John. Everybody knows
Janet.
John. If you're in after the age of 30, you know a John.
My dad.
It's just so many.
Janet, my mum.
There is so many things when it comes to cold readings, and as a person that does do mediumship, I do psychometric readings, psychometry. I do go to haunted locations and read what you guys now refer to as stone tapes, whatever they call it. But I used to just read the energy and stuff. I find it hard as a believer when you're sat there and there's stuff going on, you sort of think, oh, come on, this is a cold reading. You're not, because at the beginning of the show, when we went to in Northampton, the lady said about everybody that's there is fair game. If there's a message comes through for you, or we make eye contact and I feel something, I'm going to give you that message. You're all fair game looking at us like this, even if you've been dragged along. And she looked straight at me. And I went, I haven't been dragged along. And so she went off. And then the other person that she was with did their bit. And while they were doing their bit, the first person was on their phone down the other end of the room. It was in a coffee shop, very similar to how me and Penny used to run them when we had them at a particular calf in Northampton when we did our psychic nights there. It was the exact same format, just we did it better. Everybody actually got personal time in our one. This one they didn't. But while this person's doing their readings, they were down the end of the phone on their phone the whole time. And I sort of said to Penny, they're Googling. They are absolutely 100% Googling.
Oh, wow.
The person who's bought the ticket. And then when she comes back to do her reading afterwards,
that one
she stood to the side of me and said, oh, I'm getting a lot of psychic energy up here. Do you guys do readings? And a lot of spiritual energy. And I was like, I was the person that was fucking dragged along. But now all of it, and we both went, yeah, we both do readings and mediumship and healing. We're both Reiki masters. So, oh yeah, well, I'm getting this. And there's a venue, something to do with a venue. And I'm like, that's a good stab in the dark because I'm looking at a venue for a wedding, looking for a venue for a 12-week Lodestar Wolf course, a 6-week course that I want to run for my Lodestar Wolf. And do you know what I mean? I was like, and in the end, I kind of went, right, I'm going to throw you a bit of a bone because there's multiple things that are potentially correct because I've got multiple irons in the fire to do with venues and locations and stuff. And she was like, well, I don't need you to throw me a bone. Okay. So, yeah, so I thought it was quite weird that one minute I was the person being dragged along, and then the next minute she stood next to me. Oh, there's a lot of spiritual energy up here.
That's so bad that they would just
Googling it, and obviously either found the Wiccan Warriors stuff, which me and Penny still do. If people want parties or readings or private readings for tarot, it's there. We're just not very good at. I'm not very motivated by the institution of money.
Oh man!
So,
Mick, I was going to say, Mickey, what was the thing that you had done? The thing that brought you out in tears. That's what I want to do.
Past life regression. Yeah.
Past. Have you seen Have you seen Mickey's past life regression video? Oh, it is. I've never seen Mickey like that before. When I seen the video, I was like, "That's not Mickey at all." It brought.
Is that part of the Dads Lads Kebabs podcast?
No, it's something. What? I don't know what you're doing.
I love your intro, by the way, Mickey. That skull and your heavy metal intros, absolutely awesome. I love it.
I thought you'd like that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I was on a Parameet weekend, and Paul Goddard did it for me. He does hypnotherapy, past life regression, healing, all that stuff. Yeah, I cried like a little bitch.
He was literally like a baby coming out of the womb.
Yeah, I was screaming, crying when I came round.
I'll have to look out for that.
I can send you the link. It's the full thing is on YouTube on private, but I've got a link I can send people if they want to see it.
I just want to do it because I find that fascinated me.
Well, he'll do it for you, Niall. When he came on our show, he told you that.
Yeah, I know. I want to do it. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I did one years and years ago. I mean, I'm talking sort of mid-2000s. I did one, and I'd been a farmer.
So was I.
Outside a like castle wall. So you got a massive castle wall, and then my farm sort of backed onto that, sort of perhaps 200 or 300 yards. So I was some sort of croft farmer just outside. I mean, I'm saying castle wall, it's probably the town wall because the actual that enclosed area. So I was outside the walls. I was obviously not inside. And at some point, I drowned as well. In another previous life, I drowned. So that was kind of.
Oh wow!
It was kind of freaky.
I couldn't. Well, that's my worst fear is drowning.
Yeah, it is mine. I've always had a fear of water. And
I love water.
as a teenager, I learnt to be a kayaking and canoeing instructor, and I had to do an Eskimo roll to get the certificate.
Yeah.
It was the fucking quickest Eskimo roll you've seen in your life, to the point where the guy doing the accreditation was like, whoa, that's no. I want you to turn upside down, let go of your paddle, and then run your hands up the side of the boat. I was like, oh, you fucking bastard. I hate that because I'm stuck with a spray deck. My legs are stuck in the kayak, and I feel a bit claustrophobic. And he went, it'll give you about 10 or 15 seconds, and I'll bring the nose of mine up, and you can pull yourself up. He said, but right, fine. So
Fuck that.
out in the wild, anytime if I was kayak surfing or on white water, I very rarely ever did a real life Eskimo roll in the wild. I just fucking popped out. My brain just couldn't cope with it. I'm upside down. Get out.
It's natural instinct, right?
Yeah. So I was never very confident with being upside down with my legs stuck in a boat. So what stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah. What is your Lodestar Wolf course that you're doing that you keep mentioning? Let's have a little chat about that.
I'm just trying to figure out a venue for it. It's a 6-week course that starts with. Oh, let me get me notes on it. To be honest, where is it? Oh, it's probably a file. It basically starts at 6 weeks and it goes through all the elements. You've got Earth, so it looks at our time when we were a cub, when we were a young person. And we're supported by a parent, and we're dependent on somebody. So we're that little baby cub wolf in a den, and that's the earth part of it. And then it goes on to water, and I discuss how you can go with the flow. And rivers are never supposed to be in a straight line, so your life's never going to be from point A to point B. There's always going to be twists and turns in it. Because a river has to have twists and turns. That's how it filters the water. And certain rocks represent certain people in your life that will cause ripples. And some parts of your life will be absolute turmoil. That will be that white water, the rapids that you feel you've got no control over. So it's kind of that sort of logic. And then we get into air. And that's where we discuss. So again, you're on the water again, but you're a boat with a sail. So, you can propel yourself along and again, go with that flow of air. It's where part of the life force comes from, to do with oxygen and getting that wind in your sails and moving and progress. And then there's fire. So the fire aspect of it is to do with cleansing more than anything else. So there's certain affirmations that we do in that. So anything you want to let go of, or you want to turn it back into its original thing, which was just basic carbon, burn it. It cleanses everything. It can devastate. It can be out of control if it needs to be, if you let it get out of control. But you can use fire for cleansing. I do a lot of that. If I've got stuff going through my head that I want to let go of, I will burn it to get rid of it. But then there's also times when I will do affirmations where there's things I want to happen, and then I'll burn them as well and put them in the fire, because then they're in the smoke. That's put them into the ether. So it's the two aspects of fire for cleansing and affirmations and starting afresh and being like the phoenix in some respects. And then the next part is we go out into the public and we do some bit of people watching and people interactions. And this is where it gets the kind of sociology stuff. So one of my favourites, and it was on a film the other day, actually, me and Penny watched. It's just randomly. You can do this yourself. It's a brilliant giggle. Go and just stand somewhere random in the street and just look up. And just stay there. And then count how many people walk by you and try to look at what you're looking at. And it's how humans are influenced by certain environmental stuff.
That's fucking brilliant.
people who go to fake job interviews, and when a bell rings, a person will stand up, and then another person will stand up, and the person that's not an actor in this scenario, it's just there, will stand up as well, because we're sheep. We follow the crowd. We will do it. And then my other one is, as part of the course, just go and buy something from a shop, and the person that serves you, they've got a name badge on, and that is a non-verbal introduction as to who they are. And just when you go to, I don't know, the till at Asda or Waitrose or M&S, wherever it is you go, and just say, thank you, Dave or Sandra, whoever it is that's there, thank you very much, and use their name, create that little, and watch their face, because they will immediately go, their face will go, do you know me? Do I know you? Do you know me? They forget they're wearing their name, or a name, it might not be theirs, admittedly, on their top or their badge. So it's those little random human connections. So that's one part of it, and then the next part is the recap of everything, and that kind of making the plan of what you want to do. What is it you want to achieve? What do you want to overcome? And for most people, it's simple things like, I just want to go out without feeling anxious that everybody's staring at me, looking at me, judging me. I want to feel confident to go to the shop and buy what I want. I want to feel confident if I've got to call customer services and try and get something sorted or changed or updated. People fear human interaction quite a lot. So it covers those bits, but it's done over 6 weeks. I'm sort of trying to figure out whether or not where I can do this as a venue that feels quite holistic in its approach. I don't want it to be a kind of death by PowerPoint presentation in like a corporate office somewhere. It's not that sort of thing. No. And I haven't nailed down the price of it yet, because again, I'm not very motivated by the institution of money. I know I need money to pay bills, and I have got bills to pay, but I don't want it to come across as something that's exclusively, do you know what I mean? You can go on I've seen some where you can be a woodland therapist, and you do groups and you do an online course. It's about $2,000 to take the course. It's like, what are you doing? It's just monetizing being happy. So this will be something that will be 6 weeks, and it'll be like 150 quid for the 6 weeks. I've just got to pin the venue down, hopefully, and sort that bit out and finalise all the little nitty-gritty bits.
So how long each week will that take for people to attend? Is it once a week, an hour a week?
Once a week. It'd be in the evening. And it would be about 2 hours. Each session would be a couple of hours. And no, I don't want any more than about 9 or 10 people maximum.
Yeah, because when you take them to Waitrose and say, go buy that one, go to that one, go over there. It'd be like on a school trip. You have to put everybody in a high-vis jacket so you know where they are. Get them all to hold hands when they leave the shop. Come on, back to class.
The shop one and the going out sort of thing. Different shops have different atmospheres because they hire different kinds of people. And I'm going to be quite blunt in this moment. But if you go to Primark, the staff couldn't give a rat's ass. They couldn't give a shit. They're desperately trying to tidy the place up because it looks like a jumble sale constantly, because the customers don't give a shit.
No.
But if you go somewhere like M&S, all of a sudden, the customer service aspect changes slightly. The difference between going to Mountain Warehouse to going to Cotswolds. There's different brands have different approaches, and not only are their staff different, but their clients are different. People that shop in Waitrose are very different to people that shop in Asda. There's an expectation from the people that shop in Waitrose. People that shop in Asda just want their stuff, fill the basket full of stuff, and get the fuck out of there. People that go in Waitrose, they want to feel slightly, they want to feel slightly better.
You are right, and also one of the things you're talking about is that those shops do create an atmosphere where it's a welcoming. Going shopping is not just a thing that you do like you do in Asda; it's an experience. You go to Marks and Spencer's, and they and don't get me wrong, I buy certain things from certain shops, but if I go into Marks and Spencer's, they've got like fresh fresh bread out on display so you can smell it as you walk past, and the bread will be where the bread will be where the tin food is, so you can smell it. So they've got people walking around going, "You having a nice day?" That sort of stuff, you know. And it's not. It's about creating an experience rather than a means to an end.
It is.
So
it's not just a hunter-gatherer that's out. They've gone to Asda, fill my trolley, I've got to get home. It's not about that at all. The customer expectations are different. So the customer service expectations have to be different. So it's working with people on that course to spot that. A little bit of sociology to understanding thy neighbour. We're all different, and we're all the same in the same breath. So it'll be a couple of hours each week. I'm just trying to tie it all down. Hopefully the venue will come back to me. I've been waiting for them to come back to me.
How do you find the time for this? Like, you are busy all the time. You do so much different things. Like, Mickey's the same. He's always got like a million and one things going on. I'm like, I'm just trying to focus on.
I have a different notebook. I have one notebook that sits in the lounge, and I'll write down random little nuggets of things that I've thought of. Like, there'll be some random saying that if I've gone out with my mate and we've gone for a walk and I've said some random nugget, I'm not fucking remember that. I'll write that down. And then I have particular books which are certain projects. So, but I mean, I will do a project, and if it starts to run out of steam, I'll move on to the next project. I've already got a tarot reading course that's all done. All the slides for PowerPoint are done. The stuff is all there and ready. If I got a venue, let's say I just book a venue and go, right, I've got 10 spaces available. It's X amount of pounds. That is ready to go. So if 5 people watching this want to do a tarot reading course that takes you into the history of tarot, so a full understanding of where it comes from, the myths that go with it, the truths that come with it, and then how to read tarot at the end of it, ta-da, it's there, it's ready, I've done it. It's available.
Shit, man, you're so busy.
So,
I'm just trying to get through the day at the moment.
And then in between that, I've done courses. I've done I've done Wicked diploma. I've got a Norse diploma. At the moment, I'm looking at doing some others that are to update some of my sociology stuff. So yeah, every day is a school day and a learning opportunity.
That's nice, though. I like that.
But it's busy.
Yeah.
If I'm busy, I'm focused forward. Idle time is when my brain wanders off, and that's me understanding my kind of personality. That if I keep moving forward, I keep looking forward. So hence why I've not even thought about the tarot reading course, because it's all done and dusted. I'm just waiting for the universe to bring that into play. I'm very much a case of, you know what I mean? It's why me and Penny don't really advertise the tarot reading stuff, because they will find it when they need it and will be the right person to read for them. I am not going to sit on social media shuffling my cards like some underpaid Vegas person spouting crap to people on social media. That is not how I operate.
TikTok would love that.
Well, yeah, I'm sure they would, but my spirit guides would absolutely tear me a new one. And I'm not prepared to lower myself to a level.
You might be able to get a free treadmill to advertise it on there. Just saying.
No, I again, like I said, I'm not motivated. In all my years of doing tarot, I've never charged a ridiculous amount of money for any of it. I'm not. The institution of money taints a service in my mind. Don't get me wrong, I have to go to work, I have to earn money. When I'm earning money, whether I'm being paid to fundraise for the Wildlife Trust or I'm doing bits of care work that I'm doing, I'm being paid for it. I'm exchanging my time for money in that instance. And it's the same with the tarot reading, but it becomes a bit corrupt when the money becomes the driving force. So I'm not motivated by money at all. I'm motivated by people's reactions, what they get out of it, and somebody coming to me. Like today for Wildlife Trust, somebody came up to me and they'd signed up a couple of weeks ago, and then I was in their local Sainsbury's, and she went, "Oh, my pack's come through today," and their kids got their activity packs through, and they're absolutely loving it. It's perfect for me. I love that. A little bit of human to human. Perfect.
Connection, yeah.
What's the word? Exchange of money. It was just nice. It was perfect. Because on my table, with all my display for my Wildlife Trust, I hope my boss is not watching this. Underneath my card machine is crystals. Underneath there is rose quartz, malachite, tiger's eye, clear quartz. One, to keep my energy on that table nice and level. And two, occasionally I'll meet people where there's a real kind of human connection and there's a spiritual connection there. And I lift it out the way and they go, right, pick yourself a crystal you need. Or I'll hand somebody a piece of tiger's eye. If I find somebody struggling with something and they say something, I'll go, right, you need this. This is a gift. I've been holding this for you, and just give them a random crystal.
That's nice. I like that.
That's good.
That's nice. What a fantastic way to commence our
Because
show. That's really nice.
Yeah, humans are amazingly weird and amazing at the same time. Because we are mindful, spiritual animals that are distracted all the time by stuff and media and films and TV and propaganda and who can extract what piece of time and money out of us next. And we forget that we're a living, breathing animal that sometimes just needs to lay and stare at the moon at night and just go, that's a fucking massive thing, isn't it? What's that about? Are we really spinning at 36,000 miles an hour, flying through space on a giant marble?
No, because it's flat.
Like, we shouldn't know that sort of information. Shouldn't be aware of it at all. So
what? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say, I want before I forget, I wrote a little note on here that I want your viewers, I want people to dive down the panda rabbit hole. I've spent a few days looking at this. Where do pandas come from?
Their mum's vaginas.
Yeah, it's very biological. No, but where do pandas come from? What country?
China.
Asia. Yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever looked at the Chinese zodiac and their year of stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Panda is the Chinese animal, their whatever they call it, the animal of China, but it doesn't appear on any of their zodiac stuff. It doesn't breed properly. It can't eat properly. It doesn't move properly. It's rather an unintelligent animal. I personally think
robots.
They invented this. They invented that animal somewhere along the lines, because I can't figure out where they come from.
Oh, okay.
Honestly, it sounds bonkers, but have a little dive down the panda rabbit hole.
Where the panda?
Not red pandas, that's a totally different rabbit hole.
Oh, fuck's sake.
But honestly, pandas, they confused the shit out of me.
I feel like pandas are basically the same sort of way they create pissheads because they pretty much example the same sort of thing. They can't walk properly. They can't talk properly. Like, they roll around, they fall over.
They're just bonkers. They're not a normal animal. That's a man-made thing. And it's either a man-made thing that's people in suits or CGI or robots or something. There's my weird conspiracy theory for tonight's video.
Panda suits. Brilliant.
Okay. Before we go, a little quiz for you. We're gonna figure out when Alistair was on last, yeah? So what year are you two going for?
I am going 22.
Yeah, I think it's been a couple of years.
Okay.
I don't think what we spoke about.
What? I'll get to that. What month was it in?
It was February 22.
No, I'm going August.
Okay. And what amazing event happened in the world of influencers and film stars and musicians? What major event happened that was the main topic of discussion for that episode?
Oh fucking hell! Oh god!
I don't know. Was I in? I was in a mate's music video. Was it that?
No.
No. I am in a mate's music video though. Just saying.
Cool.
I don't know. Fuck. Sorry, say it. What?
I don't know. I'm not very good. Like we said earlier, I'm not very good at looking backwards. I keep looking forward.
Okay. It was April 22.
Yeah.
April 2022. I was not even looking.
April 22. Yeah.
I'm not slapping an ass either.
What, oh, was it the Will Smith slap?
Yeah, and the
Oh,
Oscars.
no way, was it?
Is
Yeah,
that what it was? Oh shit.
yeah.
Oh nice.
There you go. Now you can finish now.
God, yeah,
Well-
that was a while ago though.
That was a
Yeah.
long time ago. Shit. Well, Alistair, thank you for joining us on another episode of Dad's Lads.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for letting me rant for a bit.
One thing before you go, I would like to ask you for a quote, a motivational quote that inspires you every day.
Move a muscle, change a thought.
There you go. I like that. Thank you
So
very much.
don't sit still. Move a muscle, change a thought. Anything you like. I know that mental health people say, "Oh, go for a walk." No, not necessarily go for a walk. Clean the windows, clean the bathroom. Just move a muscle. Just walk around, do something. Move a muscle, change a thought.
I like it. Thank you very much. Guys, thank you for joining us another episode of Dads, Lads and Kebabs. On that note, deuces. And fuck
Thanks,
off.
guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye.